Do you regret using the word illegal to describe immigrants last night, sir?
Well, I don't regret it. Technically not supposed to be here.
Flashback.
The Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem, and the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to do is create a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one. Step number two is to take on employers. Right now, an employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to be held accountable.
I want to talk about this. This is serious. We have a real issue at the borders. We're a nation of immigrants and we are a nation of laws. We've got to make sure the system works the way it's supposed to, in an orderly fashion. So there's work to be done there.
Trump has succeeded. He has shut the border down. There are no border crossings virtually happening right now in this country.
We have 99% improvement from Biden. And that was his better year. You know, he started around the election working a little bit harder, and they got a little bit better. It was horrible still. So we're comparing it to his best time. Comparing it to the worst time, it's like, it's not even, you can't calculate it how much better. So we have now the best border we've ever had, and we did that in a period of 5 weeks. Pretty amazing, actually.
Does that imply that we don't need to add a bunch of money and forces? In fact, maybe you could draw down or reappoint the force and manpower that's down there, and we don't need new laws and new money?
Well, you don't need very many new laws, because I did it without new laws. I did it twice without new laws. I had the best border ever. And now I think we're going to beat those numbers. I actually think these numbers might be slightly better, and we're going to get them better yet. And I said during the speech on Tuesday night, I said that you didn't need anything. You just needed a new president for that. I said, close the border, and they closed the border. He could have done the same thing. I think he wanted open borders. I don't know if he did, but somebody in there that ran the operation, nobody really knows who was running it.
Bottom line is, when Joe Biden got elected, he said he wanted to fast track 4 million undocumented residents to full citizenship.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
Black people completely ignored it. I spoke on it. I said, do you know why he want to fast track 4 million? Because he know he's not going to do nothing for us. We ain't going to be motivated to vote for him November. So what he's going to do is have these migrants already set up with citizenship so they can replace the black vote that he loses. The migrants are being put in our communities on purpose, New York and Chicago on purpose, because they are what? The 2 blackest cities in America. They're the 2 largest cities in America. They're the 2 most politically conscious black communities in America. So if we can wash out the black with the brown in New York, if we can wash out the black with the brown in Chicago, Philly don't stand a chance. Atlanta don't stand a chance. LA, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago don't stand a chance. The migrants are here for 3 reasons. Replace us at the polls, replace us at the low-end industry jobs.
All right, check this out. Check out this clip from 2013 where Obama is asked why his administration is deporting so many people and separating families. You're not going to believe this. I want you to close your eyes and imagine Trump saying this. Imagine what they would say.
You know, I'm the president of the United States. I'm not the emperor of the United States. My job is to execute laws that are passed. And Congress right now has not changed what I consider to be a broken immigration system. And what that means is that we have certain obligations to enforce the laws that are in place, even if we think that in many cases the results may be tragic.
The death of Renee Nicole Good I've been speaking to her father, who is a big supporter of yours, like many Americans are. But he's heartbroken right now.
I can understand that.
He's heartbroken because his daughter is dead. That's obvious. He's also heartbroken because your administration so quickly has come out and said she's a domestic terrorist. What do you want to say to her father right now?
Well, I want to say to the father that I love all of our people. They can be on the other side. As you say, he might be on my side.
He is on your side.
And I think that's great. And I do. I think it's great. And I would bet you that she, under normal circumstances, was a very solid, wonderful person. But, you know, her actions were pretty tough. I mean, I've seen it many ways and many different shapes and forms. But the bottom line is, look, we have hundreds of thousands of murderers in our countries, killers. ICE is trying to get them out. They were let in through an open border policy of sleepy Joe Biden. ICE is working very hard to get them out. Their job is being made very, very difficult. And, you know, when you look at that tape, it can be viewed two ways, I guess. But when you look at the way that car was pulled away, there are a couple of versions of that tape that are very, very bad.
There are going to be some stories that break our hearts.
To get control of the city, to ensure that we have law and order, the mayor and the governor need to step up and lead. They need to support law enforcement that is simply trying to enforce our federal laws. And regardless of what protesters want the federal laws to be, the previous administration allowed 10 million illegal aliens into our country, many of them obviously criminal, and they are continuing to create criminal acts. And you're going to get arrested for that in America, and you should. And so to watch this scene with individuals flying American flags upside down, it's really hard to watch. And I know there are a lot of people across America that are praying for our law enforcement officers there in Minneapolis and across the country right now.
There are going to be some stories that break our hearts.
A few moments later.
Here is Barack Hussein Obama posting this official statement by him and his wife on X. Some would call him the divider-in-chief, as I like to affectionately refer to him as. Others would call him the deporter-in-chief, which really reflects and is a referendum on the hypocrisy of this entire party and Obama himself. Remember, this is the same guy who right before the election of 2024, like literally a couple of days before, I think it was on Halloween, if my memory serves me correctly, actually propagated in a speech to millions the Charlottesville, both people are good, both sides were good people hoax. Literally, a lot of Democrats said I lost all respect for Obama. If you think that's bad, wait till you get a load of this, because they've just announced themselves. So Obama says the killing of Alex Pretty is a heartbreaking tragedy, which it was. He shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been there with a gun. You don't get involved and interfere with law enforcement officers. That's true. That's maybe the only part of this that's actually true. Here's where it gets really scary. It should also be a wake-up call to every American. Now, I've taught Aristotle's principles of rhetoric: audience, purpose, message, ethos, pathos, logos. I think you're going to get a breakdown here that comes with my expertise, my background, and I hope this illuminates a lot of truth about what's going to happen here and who these people really are. When he says this is a wake-up call to every American, that is what we call a call to action, a CTA. You're the leader, Barack. Every Democrat looks up to you. God knows why, but they do. For you to say this is a wake-up call to every American, regardless of party, that many of our core values as a nation are increasingly under assault. You have officially announced that the Democrat Party... Now, I expect this from AOC, and I'll show you what Bernie said. I expect this from ghetto low IQ Crockett. I expect this from the rest of these hippocrats. But, you know, you would think that somebody like Barack, who's seen his party lose, get L after L after L, would have a little bit of introspection and reflection and go, you know what? This is getting out of control. This is not who we are. Let's kind of turn down the temperature. He just cranked it up.
And more importantly, we're going to continue to have an economy that is stifled by a really inefficient system where not only are we deporting folks, but we also have a legal immigration system that is so bottlenecked that it forces sometimes people into the illegal system. If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half-century. And to those members of Congress who question my authority to make our immigration system work better, or question the wisdom of me acting where Congress has failed, I have one answer. Pass a bill.
Do you regret using the word illegal to describe immigrants last night, sir?
Well, I don't regret it. Technically not supposed to be here.
Here's another clip from 2014 where Bill Kristol advocates for the deportation of migrant children. Even George Slopadopoulous says that Obama needs to send a message to migrants that they need to go back home. Watch this.
There you see President Obama in Denver this week. White House even has a hashtag for these outings. They call it the bear is loose. With the president taking some heat for shooting pool, but not going to the border to see that crisis firsthand.
We send children back to Mexico. We send children back all over the world.
But they're not in those situations.
Well, they are in those situations, and things in Central America have been tough for a long time. But the idea that you're going to let unaccompanied minors just come into the U.S. because of a loophole in the 2008 law that allows you to send the Mexican kid back and the Honduran kid gets to stay, and that's not sensible. And so that the Republicans are going to propose this week on the Hill amending the 2008 law to have even treatment for everyone. And the president does have to send a message, you can't come here. And why is this happening? David talks about this has been a problem for decades. Why are these kids suddenly flooding this place? Because the president amnestied all the kids who were already here in 2012, and people in Central America decided. Can I just say one thing? He just finished sentence. He amnestied all the kids who were here, and every sensible person in Central America thought, hey, great, if I can get my kid into the U.S., there'll be an amnesty for him.
I think that's part of the problem for the president. If you go down to the border, part of his message has to be, you guys have got to go back home.
So what changed? Why all of a sudden the different tone? Why all of a sudden is this kind of talk now considered some sort of authoritarian vernacular? Well, this might clue you in. Check this out. You might be wondering how Minnesota, a state once known for its Scandinavian stoicism and lakes, became the global epicenter for Somali diasporic fraud. Well, guess what, folks? It wasn't an accident. It was a federal mandate. Between 2008 and 2016, the Obama administration oversaw the admission of over 54,000 Somali refugees in the United States. But they didn't just scatter them across the 50 states. They targeted specific swing states and counties, with Minnesota being the primary dumping ground. What a big shock that is. By the time this divider-in-chief, deporter-in-chief Obama left office, Minnesota was home to the largest Somali population in the country. It's now estimated at over 80,000 people. This concentration was strategic. By clustering refugees in Minneapolis, the Democratic machine created a voting bloc that could be harvested for elections and a demographic that demanded massive government outlays. They called it diversity. In reality, it was basically demographic engineering. The Obama administration poured federal grants into, quote, refugee services, end quote, creating a lucrative industry of nonprofits and community organizers whose entire existence depended on keeping the flow of refugees and federal dollars moving. This established the infrastructure, my fellow Americans, for the fraud we see today that the brilliant Nick Shirley exposed with his on-the-ground, brilliant investigative reporting.
jawaabteedu waxay ahayd dowladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dowladda Mareykanka qabo. Waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali haddii aan nahay. Wadankan annaga ku nool. Wadankan wadankii aan annaga tax ka dhiibno waaye. Waa wadankii gabar idinka dhalatayne ee Congress-ka fadhiso. Intii aniga aan Congress joogo. Wadanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleete iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan. Wadanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleete in annaga ayna dhacaan. Marka taas ka seexda.
This is my land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you guys up if you don't pay your taxes. You better pay your taxes.
Now, what do you think happens when we see Muslims saying we're conquering the West? There's nothing you can do. A certain percentage of people get motivated. What do you think people do when they see the head of Meta censorship go? Almost all the censor heads in government and in big tech are Jewish. And if you say it's a Jewish conspiracy, we will crack down on you even harder. It's like, it's baiting, folks. It's baiting, okay? So I don't care who runs it. I'm not going to attack people because of groups of people or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's like the Somalis. I've probably seen 100 videos of Somalis in Minnesota going, listen, white slaves, we own you. And you're going to do whatever we say, however we say. And people see these and think this can't be real. Go to Minneapolis. I've been there many times. The Genesis Network used to be based up there. Been there like 20 times. I don't remember. I like Minnesota, man. I mean, I don't like traveling that much, but the hunting and fishing is just, and so Ted Anderson, the owner of the network, was a big hunter and fisher, still is. And so he would just take me, all expenses paid, pheasant hunting, fishing. Fishing is the best I've ever seen in the world. But then you're in the city, and literally the Somalis are arrogant. They laugh at you. They bump into you. I mean, it's like scary as hell because they're arrogant, man. And by the way, they do it to black people that aren't Somali. They'll tell you, see all the videos, they're like, I'm like a big old black dude. Like, he goes, yeah, I was there to see my son, and they're just talking smack to me and, getting in my face for telling me I'm a scum because I'm not a Somali. They are elitist, folks. But the point is that you've got this consortium of elitists. And in Pakistan and many regions, sex slavery is normal. And so they set up shop all over the world with sex slavery and pedophilia. And it's just so incompatible. And then you've got the leftist and right-wing Jewish lobbies wanting to censor everybody. And you got the leftist Jewish lobbies only outdone by Catholic charities flooding us with all the Islamics. And it's just a disaster. And then if you say, hey, I don't want replacement migration, it's an official ADL UN plan to replace, quote, white Christians. You can go on the UN website, it's on there with foreigners. They say, oh, that's going to be illegal. That is illegal in Germany, France, Sweden, and now the UK. If you say this is replacement migration, you go to prison. I can play you magistrates giving people 2- and 3-year sentences. Did you said that they were bringing in immigrants, migrants to replace the white population and replace the migration? That is a code violation. 3 years in prison. Guilty, guilty, guilty. I mean, you're hearing Twilight Zone music play, and it's an official plan. But it's got to be illegal to say it, because if you're being told you're being replaced and the people coming here are being brainwashed to hate you, well, let's do this. Let's do Sadiq Khan. I've got to get started here. Let's do just Sadiq Khan yesterday. The problem is people that don't like Islam and don't submit to Islam. And he's a real Muslim. He's like, the problem is you don't submit. Only problem in the world is bend over, I rule you. And then let's go to just one of the latest Somalis saying, you work for me, bitch. Get your white ass out there and start working, bitch. Here it is.
कि लोग जो non-Muslims हैं वो समझें Islam peaceful religion है, we're not terrorists, we're not bad people. But unfortunately, some people try and divide communities, try and turn people against Islam, Muslims. और हम कोशिश करते हैं और इंशाल्लाह कि वो लोग educate हो जाएंगे.
Thank you for working so hard so I can be home all day, free. I can use my EBT. Go to work for me, white boy, white girl. Yeah. Go to work for me, you white animals. Work for me. Yeah, you work for me. And the U.S. government they work for me. All of you work for me. Now go to work. Pay them taxes. Take care of me and my people. All right? This is my land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you guys up if you don't pay your taxes. You better pay your taxes.
This is how they truly feel about us. I don't care how many times you vote to give them everything that they want. This is how they truly think about you. So to all the white liberals who are constantly complaining about the fact that they have no money, that their taxes are high, that all of these things are happening to them because of what they voted for, so they can be the good person who allows everyone in, this is what you're allowing.
When you import a population from a failed state with no tradition of Western civic duty, and you teach them that the government is a bottomless trough of free money You don't get assimilation. You get predation. So essentially, the leader of the Democratic Party, the Black Messiah, Barack Obama, has just thrown a knife in the back of every mom, father, grandmother, grandfather, and family member who's had a loved one brutally slain by these illegals that these Democrats have let into our country. Shame on you, Obama.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Bottom line is, when Joe Biden got elected, he said he wanted to fast track 4 million undocumented residents to full citizenship. Black people completely ignored it. I spoke on it. I said, do you know why he want to fast track 4 million? Because he know he not going to do nothing for us. We ain't going to be motivated to vote for him November. So what he's going to do is have these migrants already set up with citizenship so they can replace the black vote that he loses. The migrants are being put in our communities on purpose, New York and Chicago on purpose, because they are what? The two blackest cities in America. They're the two largest cities in America. They're the two most politically conscious black communities in America. So if we can wash out the black with the brown in New York, if we can wash out the black with the brown in Chicago, Philly don't stand a chance. Atlanta don't stand a chance. LA, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago don't stand a chance. The migrants are here for 3 reasons. Replace us at the polls, replace us at the low-end industry jobs.
Trump do not sleep. He don't play by no rules. You say, will your president be awake at 3 o'clock in the morning to answer the phone if it rings? Shit, yeah, our president is up. Our president is a vampire. That motherfucker sent 23 tweets at 12:30. What the fuck is you talking about? That motherfucker is on it. Trump don't give a fuck. That motherfucker is on it, whatever the fuck it is. Every time he wake up, he just sign another piece of paper. Wait till they see this when they wake the fuck up, since they want to talk. We used to just being able to watch the news a little bit and then walk off. Not with Trump. Niggas is watching the news like it's the playoffs. Trump don't give a fuck. Trump don't follow nobody's rules. The president is supposed to be at the White House. Our president is wherever the fuck he wanna be.
When it's time to go, you can choose how. You can wait for enforcement, or you can leave on your terms. The CBP Home app lets you self-deport with dignity, directly and securely. Don't wait, decide how it ends.
Crying harder, crying harder. Trump is your president. Crying harder, crying harder. Trump is your president.
On the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" Catch!
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core.
Hey, let me shut down the city! We are at war!
We're in a war right now.
We are at war.
So you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
And that's why the gloves are off.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And yes, there are many threats to democracy. We see it with these extreme candidates.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
You can only push people so far. And then they start to take matters into their own hands.
What the American public want is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight.
You know, this is literally call to arms.
The MAGA movement is a threat.
But Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high.
No. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high.
When they go low, we kick them.
We take them to the mud and choke them out.
And make sure that they stay down. And you know what? Kick them when they're down because they deserve it.
Get up in the face of some Congress people.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your...
We have to fight this in the streets.
We're going to fight it in the streets. It's time to step out of your comfort zone and step out into the streets.
To our Republican colleagues, if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist! You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
He's not going to have a third term. He may not finish this term.
That's the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.